If you could go back in time and change anything in your life, anything it may be, just that little thing right there, you can trick your brain to that dopamine hit.
You still have to take certain risks. Do not start 7 side hustles and never put 100% of your energy into one.
You can make some money out of something. They're making thousands of dollars a day. Ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. It's still going on. I made a video about that freaking 6 months ago. It's still going on. What's up, guys, and welcome back to another urgent transmission. My name's Tyler.
And I'm Cody.
Today we are going to be doing something just a little bit different, and if you are a younger guy, 18 to 22, trying to figure your life out, this video is for you. I was just telling him that I hate basketball. I hate basketball. Well, not necessarily the sport, but watching it. I'm not accomplishing anything now. I've tricked my brain to where I'm always trying to focus on bettering myself and bettering my surroundings or bettering the business or whatever that may be. And I think that's one thing that these guys should know, is that you can trick your brain into working harder. A lot of people view the 40-hour, a week work week as this big detriment. And it's like, if you could reposition that and find something you enjoy and then have that side hustle on the side, say you got your girlfriend, maybe have a kid or two. Like, I get that everybody's situation is different, but you've got to be projecting forward somehow.
Yeah, if you have extenuating circumstances like a partner or children, you have to deliberately divulge a certain amount of your time towards that portion of your life, because you cannot let it fall off. I cannot articulate that enough, that you do have to have priorities, and spending time with your partner and your children have to be a priority.
Absolutely.
But you cannot get sucked into the 40-hour work week ideal either.
Yeah.
If you really if we broke down an hourly timesheet of what time we spend working, it'd be 70, 80 hours a week. It would be astronomical.
Collectively, by what we're doing, we're stacking up so many hours just because we're diversifying in so many different things. We're not just doing transmissions, we're content creating, we're making videos, we're doing podcasts, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're going here, we're going there.
We're selling trash.
We just sold a bottle, an old 1950s jumbo peanut butter jar for $75 on eBay. And you guys probably can't see us. I'll do a little screenshot of it, but this little jewel right here that I got out of somebody's freaking garage is worth $75. And that's what I'm talking about knowledge-wise. If you could diversify so much where you could find something like this and it turned into $100, like, bro, you're bettering yourself, and it's like people enjoy watching that. People feed off that. Like, as soon as you start doing stuff that is bettering you, people pick up on it. They're like hound dogs, and then they just want attention.
And those are small victories. So if you're working towards starting a business for yourself, having side hustles, diversifying yourself, and having multiple streams of revenue, $100 win feels good.
It just feels like a big boost, man. You can go get some dinner and leave a big tip for that freaking cute girl. Just that little thing right there, and you can trick your brain to that dopamine hit. Like, play the game. You don't have to go fully on in. Like, just play with it. See where you land. Everything's not a totality. Like, people walk into Goodwill and they're like, oh, well, this is just a bunch of junk. It's like, dig in there a little bit. If you're broke, like, just freaking go. Check it out. Learn something. It's all about the knowledge.
And that point takes me into our very next point,
which
is money management. You're first starting out and you're new to this and you're trying to start side hustles or you're trying to start a business. The very first thing you have to understand is that it takes money to make money. So you are going to have money going out in the beginning. You're always going to have money going out, but especially in the beginning, money goes out way more often than it comes in. But what you have to remember is you cannot overextend yourself and put yourself in a bind. You have to make sure all your bills are paid first and foremost.
The Bible says 3 months ahead. It's like, or three times ahead, which I'm just using the reference, but
that's another reference that a lot of business guys will make on social media content. Is that your very first step should be to make 3 months revenue for yourself.
And if you're ahead by 3 months on your bills, you're better off than, I would say, 85% of the population.
Oh, 100%.
Everybody's struggling.
But so you're going to have to take risks. Just make sure that those risks do not overextend you to the point where you're not making your bills. we have been there. Not to not making our bills, but we have taken ourselves down to our bottom dollar.
Strategic moves.
Yes.
Strategic moves.
Yes, to where you're pinching until that next payday.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be there.
No.
Because it's an uncomfortable place to be. So
absolutely.
If I could convince you to prevent being in the position that we have been before, please make sure that you do not overextend yourself to the point of putting yourself in a bad spot. But that being said, you still have to take certain risks.
Well, yeah, because you can't just like, oh, well, I know all this and I know all this like everybody else does. Everybody does that because of the phones and because of the PCs, and everybody's online now. Everybody thinks they know everything. Everybody thinks the whole entire world's been discovered. Everybody thinks everything's a totality and everything's set in stone. Everybody wants things now. Nobody wants to wait. It's just all conglomerated in this mess. And it's just a mess. And there's no way I could have saw this mess when I was in it 5 or 6 years ago. No way. But now that I'm on the freaking outside looking in, it is a cesspool. All of it is a cesspool.
So find yourself whatever expendable income you may have.
Don't do OnlyFans. Do not sell your soul. Do not do OnlyFans.
No. If you have a spare $300 and you want to try to turn that into money, buy that junk lawnmower that might need a new carburetor and it'll run fine. You know?
Yeah, because you can learn how to fix it on YouTube.
There you go.
You guys talk about knowing everything and knowing all this and knowing all that, but when it comes down to actually physically fixing something or actually physically fixing a problem, most people just sit there and shake. Oh gosh, oh, this happened and this happened. Oh, I thought I was prepared. But you're not. You're not prepared. I wasn't prepared. You're definitely not prepared. You've got to get prepared.
Calculated risk. That's
calculated risk.
Calculated risk. Next point. This generation's attention span.
Oh God.
That ties into these new business endeavors.
Right. So because you're talking about being able to manage money in a world where everyone is so occupied by these little bitty videos and these little bitty instances and the drama here and the drama here and the drama here. Right? You've got to minimalize your mindset. You've got to minimalize your mindset on what's most important. Obviously, if you have a family, we've touched on that. That's the main thing.
Compartmentalizing.
You've got to compartmentalize. Great point. Great point.
And so, my biggest point of advice there is do not start 7 side hustles and never put 100% of your energy into one.
Start one side hustle.
You start your first side hustle. You see where that takes you. If you have to pivot because of some extenuating circumstance, great. But make sure that you continue to move forward. That does not mean just trashing your entire idea, starting straight from scratch.
Yeah.
9 times in a row to where now you have 9 different side hustles and none of them make you money.
Because you're not going to build any consistency that way.
No.
You're not going to learn anything that way because as soon as something fails, you're going to view it as a failure. And failure is not necessarily failure.
So find something that motivates you. Find something you're passionate about and turn it into a way to make money. There's ways to make money doing anything in the world. You could pressure wash. You could be a content creator. Find something you're passionate about. Talk about it. Start recording videos and posting them online.
There's people on freaking TikTok jumping up and down acting like NPC freaking like literally, you can make some money out of something. They're making thousands of dollars a day. Ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. It's still going on. I made a video about that freaking 6 months ago. It's still going on.
Yeah. Maverick!
Maverick, come here, sir. Come here. Say hey to the camera. Come here.
Meow.
See? Come here, boy. You gotta say hey to the camera. Oh, yes. Oh. Hey, Cam. Hey, camera. Hey, oh, he's coiled and ready to spring. There you go, bud.
That's a good boy.
But yeah, dude, you're talking about staying consistent. You're talking about building a business. You're talking about TikTok brain. You're talking about all this stuff these guys are trying to deflect. And it's like, and I don't want to sound freaking bad, but you've got to manage your time right. So if you're young, it's best to manage yourself before anyone else. It's best to find yourself, love yourself fully commit to finding the best version of you, and then seeking that significant other. Because a lot of times there's a lot of blurred lines there.
Oh, 100%.
If you find the wrong partner, that partner can bring you down, regardless. If you find the right partner, that partner can raise you up. Like, look at Alex Hormozy for an example. Like, that woman has held him up, and like that is his freaking rock. But you find that kind of like your fiance, like that, because you took a lot of sacrifices to do this with me.
And she is also making significant sacrifices to make this work for us.
Correct.
Which I could never do without that kind of backbone.
Correct. So I'm just saying, do not go out of your way to try to find all this freaking validation from these other people
until you know you have it for yourself.
Absolutely.
100%.
I've been there. I've already made that mistake. I will not make that mistake again. And you guys should not do the same either. Like, I'm just forewarning you. Now, the only way you're going to learn is to go do it. But if I can say, hey, don't go and do
at least
that.
put some thought into it. Make sure you're not seeking validation just for the sense of not wanting to be alone.
Is this going to benefit me? Not, is this going to benefit my pecker?
Truth. And so this boils down into our next statement. What kind of life do you want to live? Do you want to be a 9-to-5 family man that just makes sure his family is provided for? And, if that's the kind of sustainability you're looking for, by all means, live your best life. If you're wanting to be someone who breaks the universe, does it differently, some of these steps are going to help you accomplish that, because it is not easy. The universe is going to tell you everything that you are doing is wrong because it's different. Nobody accepts different just outright. Every step of the way you will have some negative comment about what you were doing.
Yeah, I mean, we see this all the time with the transmission videos. It doesn't matter how clean you got something, what you're doing, people take it out of context and they'll flip it around and make it out like you're damaging the environment. And it's like, bro, you've got to be kidding me. Like, coming on my page and telling me I'm contaminating my environment when I literally live in a rainforest. Literally live in a rainforest. The trees are greener than they've ever been. The greenest they've ever been. Absolutely.
The trees are so green.
They're so green.
The greenest.
Yeah. You like that one, Mavi?
But if you're going to do things differently, if you're going to do things outside the box, it's important to remember that if you truly believe you are on the right path, do not get skewed off of that path.
Don't waver.
Because of some, you're going to have problems. The universe is going to throw problems your way. It's going to tell you what you're doing is wrong. You have to hold steady. And if you think you are on the right path and what you're doing is the right choice for you, hold fast. Do not give up if it is the right path.
But if you've got that innate sense of I want more, I need more, take that freaking leap, man. Take that big jump that you need. Set yourself up first. Have a plan. Don't just jump head first.
Don't go headstrong blindly into things, because you will ultimately fail. And as you progress professionally, one of the biggest things you're going to have to learn is how to speak to people. Like, you're trying to provide.
But you got to maintain a backbone.
Of course. And so a big portion of that is working on how you speak. One way you can do that, and this is something that I like, is listening to people speak.
Right, listening to influential people speak.
So find the podcasts that you like, whether that be the Russell Brands, the Joe Rogans, the Jordan Petersons, the Tucker Carlsons, whoever you like to watch that is a good speaker. Start picking up on speech patterns.
And start paying attention to yourself when you speak. Don't just be out here just blurting out nonsense, because nobody wants to hear that. Think before you speak.
Be deliberate.
Actually be present, like we are here to you. Be present and speak fluently so other people can hear you and other people can understand what you're saying. Because a lot of people, we're from North Carolina, the United States. People around here don't speak fluent English. I didn't speak fluent English. I can say that because I'm from North Carolina.
The Appalachia accent is very strong.
It is. It's thick.
It can be hard to articulate well. I just got feedback on this recently. My dad told me that in our videos that I needed to speak more clear and more concise because my accent is strong and it can come across as jumbled and hard for people to understand. So I have to be more conscious of when I'm speaking to make sure that I'm enunciating my words and that they're clear and easy for other people to understand.
And that's a good masculine trait to have.
It is. That you need to be able to speak to people.
If you sound like freaking Tweedledee, nobody's going to pay attention to you.
No.
And especially if you're like not been in the gym and not taking care of yourself, and like nobody's going to care, man. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's coming to save nobody.
Another big point to make is that young men and all men in general, you do need to take care of yourself physically.
Always, man. I failed at this for so long, and you got a big head start on me back when you were younger. You were in the gym, you were a lifeguard, I
was a competitive fighter.
You were a competitive fighter.
I wanted to be a special forces soldier, but so I invested the entire early teenage years of my life on physical fitness.
Right, which now it's great because it's like all this stuff. Right, and you're kind of coming into to what we're doing or what I already had established in a way. I'm giving you good knowledge when it comes to transmission stuff, so you can learn and content stuff, and we're having conversations. And then at night, we're getting in here, we're doing some push-ups, we're doing some boxing, we're doing some routines, we're training. We're training. After working for 10 or 12 hours, we're in here training. This is what I'm trying to tell you people, is that your brain, it's not off when you think it's off. You can keep going. You can keep grinding. Aikido your way to the top.
And that goes back to a few years ago. I found David Goggins' book.
Yeah,
I told you about it. You listened to it too.
Changed my life.
You're only 10% done when your brain tells you you're finished. 10% done when your brain tells you you're finished. There's a lot of things about David Goggins that I can say is too eccentric and can get you into trouble. But that is one point that I will hammer in, even to myself. When I'm having a bad day and I'm feeling Mr. Poopy Pants, you're 10% finished when you're down and out.
Absolutely.
Grab yourself by your little bootstraps, pull it up tight, and get to work.
Don't tell yourself you feel like absolute shit. Don't tell yourself that. Tell yourself that you're going to have the best day ever and that you're the freaking man.
Happiness is a choice.
Choice.
As a man, you have to physically want to be happy every single day. We face a lot of outside stressors as men.
Absolutely.
The stress of everyone who depends on us is also our stress.
The responsibilities it's big around here.
It weighs heavy. So that can get you down in a hurry. It can make you a Mr. Poopy Pants, not to go back to that again.
Feel like absolute poop.
But you have to hold steady. You have to be that rock. You have to wake up every day and say, I can handle these problems and I can do it with a smile. I can be happy. Because just like that video we watched earlier, are you grieving?
Absolutely not.
Is someone in your family just died? If the answer to that is no, then you have a reason to be happy.
You do.
Even with all the problems going on in your life right now, if both your arms and legs work, your family is alive and healthy, you have a reason to be happy. And you should think that way every day when you get up, even though the grind can be rough and you can not feel good,
I would much rather work my absolute ass off than lay in my bed. I refuse to lay and sulk. And this is where a lot of guys who get comfortable, who get their security from other places other than themselves, where you're not being fully self-sufficient, and there's something about being a man that just screams be self-sufficient. Be the man. The reason why you don't feel like the man is because you're not the man.
You got to be the provider.
You got to be the provider.
It's hardwired into your brain.
It is hardwired from medieval freaking primal freaking before the dinosaurs.
And that's not to say you can't get help. Don't get me wrong. That's not to say you can't. But there is a primordial urge for men to want to provide. And if you are missing that in your life,
there's a reason.
Your mental health will suffer.
It will.
I'm not telling you have to be the sole provider of your household and your wife should never work. It's okay if your wife makes more money than you. That wouldn't hurt my feelings at all. My fiance does make more money than me. However, I still get up every day with the intention of providing for her and our household.
Right.
I have that as a piece of motivation for my life. I would never be content having her be the provider of our household.
You would feel like absolute crap.
Because because I would lose all sense of urgency.
Right.
If I became complacent with that, I would have no reason to get up every day and work if I was okay. If I could just, I'm going to be a stay-at-home spouse and just let you do it.
Bro, you see it all the time. You see it all the freaking time online.
You lose a will. You lose that drive, that masculine urge to get out there and to be hungry. As young men, we all have to be hungry. You have to want it.
You gotta want it.
Because the universe is going to do everything it can to take it away from you.
Because it don't want you to have it.
No.
It's trying to freaking be like, listen, bro, you ain't got it. And then your brain's going to be like, hey, you ain't got it. And then that self-doubt, but you got to freaking go through that self-doubt. The only way is through.
You got to take it.
And
no one's handing you nothing, guys.
Just like what you're talking about, I see it all the time online. You'll see like the CCTV or like the hidden cameras in people's houses or whatever of the female getting up. She go to work. The dude stays home and he's doing this video like, yeah, I stayed home today and all I did was play video games and my wife cooked me breakfast and my wife came home and then my wife cooked me dinner and then I went to sleep. Who are you? How are you even like, how do you not feel the dread? Sorry guys, the camera overheated and we had to take a pee break. My lizard was screaming. It was screaming. I was busy talking crap about that guy that was stayed in his bed while his wife went to work and he recorded a TikTok of it. It's absolutely outrageous. Why would you make a TikTok of that? It's absolutely outrageous.
Moving on to our next point. Find a male influence and make sure you're working on yourself. This is where it all starts, guys. This is if you don't have a side hustle yet, you don't have a business venture you want to take on yet, make sure that at the very least you are putting in time every day to make yourself better as a man. That is physically and mentally. You got to be putting the time in for your physical fitness. You also have to be working on that brain and making sure you are trying to be the best man that you can be.
And I think that once you get into the gym and you start to cultivate that more healthy atmosphere around you, that your mind follows with it. Like I found out personally that whenever you freaking go head on into starting working out, because I'd never worked out when I was in high school or anything, once I started, I noticed a major uptick in my cognitive ability, which I was still getting clean off a couple things back then, back in my old days, but at the end of the day, that's where I started. That is really where I started. Even to get here, anywhere, I don't think I could have done it without working out because I had so much on my mind.
It gave you a lot of mental clarity.
And it gave me so much mental clarity and I could really work through it. What about you? Who's your biggest male influencer guy that you watch right now? I guess it comes in waves.
It does, based off of the period of life that you're in. At least for me, it has changed a lot.
Yeah.
I would say my first big male influence came from Jordan Peterson.
Yep.
Because I was struggling mentally. You know, I was struggling with what grief was. So I used Jordan Peterson as a psychologist to help me formulate a way to try to understand my world. That was one big one. Physically, male influence, David Goggins. You know, I found Goggins through Rogan. So really, the first one would have been Rogan.
Yeah.
Because
I think all of us, that's kind of Rogan was just kind of
in his
spark.
In his early days, Rogan wasn't so much intellectual.
Yeah, no,
he was all people he knew,
having fun,
people in the same kind of category he's in. You know, MMA fighters, physical athletes, stuff like that. Yeah. You know, and it's not until the show went on for a while that he started talking to more intellectual people. And now it's a way to expand your horizon expositionally watching Rogan.
Yeah, from physical to spiritual to metaphysical to meta-spiritual. Just throw the meta in front. Zuck.
Like, I mean, there's someone for everyone. There's someone for everyone. The point is that no different than you have to make the decision to go to the gym. You also have to make the decision to seek out the people who are right for you.
Yep. And anybody could be different.
And utilize what they're telling you to make yourself better.
Yep.
Because you could sit there and listen to public speakers all day long, motivational videos, whatever, but until you decide to understand that and apply it to your own life, it'll never be beneficial to you.
I totally agree.
I can sit there and watch motivation all day. I could listen to Jocko on repeat.
Yep.
But if I didn't take what he said and apply it to my situation uniquely for myself,
Yeah.
it would never be beneficial to
Yeah,
me.
you can't really put your Jocko headphones in and then expect your muscles just to grow by laying there on your bed or playing Rocket League.
No.
Like, you
No.
you're not going to do anything.
No,
you just think you are. Like, and if you tricked your brain that way, you're too far gone anyway.
But it's not going to help you.
And it's not going to help you.
It's a deliberate choice you have to make
Every day.
to want to get better. So you have, by wanting to get better, you will interpret what whoever it is you're listening to, you'll interpret what they're saying and apply it to your own life.
Right.
Because you cannot take anything verbatim, anything ever. You cannot read it out of a book. You can't hear someone speak it verbatim and it do anything for your life until you apply it to your specific situation.
Freaking-lutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. I couldn't agree more. Way to articulate that, because I haven't been able to get that to words for some individuals. And it's like, you know, it's my choice who I can listen to, and it's your choice who you can listen to. And I don't get all the Facebook and the Instagram back and forth about you can't listen to this person, you can't listen to this person. It's
all a matter of
different tools,
who
man.
Who do you find that works for you?
Yeah.
Who do you find that resonates with what you've been through in your life,
right,
where you're trying to go?
Right. I'm not going to go listen to Oprah about her problems because I'm a dude and like I've lived a completely different life.
I'm a white male
than Oprah.
I cannot resonate with what you have to say.
No.
But that's why, it's an incredibly personal decision.
Yeah.
Who you find that one motivates you, two gives you some sort of insight into how to solve problems in your life. We all need help.
We all need help.
Whether you find that spiritually through a Bible or a religious text,
which is that's what I believe is. I'm a Christian. I do believe in meditation and prayer. If I will get that out there, that meditation and prayer for me has become one of the staples of my life. Every morning I try to get up and read my Bible. Every morning I try to get up and meditate on what the Word of God has presented to me. And I do believe and I do give credit to Jesus Christ for coming to die for my sins and for all this social media stuff, man. I don't know, it's crazy. That side, that was completely out of I tried to apply, and that's what we're talking about, is applying. You're doing something. You're doing something, and everybody just always says, I'll do it next week, or I'll do it next month, or I'll do it then, and the dog ate the homework. The dog ate the homework.
Raw action gets results.
Raw action. No condom. Raw action. I mean, real.
That's where you get your results. And, like I said, that path is different for each person. You have to find what works for you. But you're never going to find it unless you go out there and look for it. So find what works for you.
And you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So that includes who you listen to.
That does.
Because if you're by yourself all the time and you're listening to garbage, well, that's not going to help you out any. If you're out here listening to freaking Fortnite and what's that, Roblox, whatever this new stuff is that's got the kids freaking just completely bonkers. If you go into like a Chili's or somewhere, normally you'd see kids running around and screaming. Nope. Every one of them buried in their iPad.
I got headphones on.
Every one of them.
I got headphones
on. And it's so sad. Oh my God, all the tailbones that aren't broken right now pisses me off, because all the times I'd smack mine on my freaking bike, because it was back then, it was like, I ain't gonna ride with no seat. I was riding down this mountain out here freaking with no freaking seat, jumping dirt, wrecking go-karts, getting dirty, hurting myself, that's what we need to...
Being the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That, I can tie that back into recognizing speech patterns.
Yeah.
Because I will tell you that I've always been very well written and very well spoken, but I spent the last 3 years working in a trade. So I spent all of my time on construction sites around blue collar guys, and I started talking like a blue collar man. I started talking like a tradie.
Yep.
Everything, because if I tried to come out onto a job site and speak very eloquently, I'd have got laughed off a job site.
You're gonna get bullied.
But so my vocabulary got very colorful.
Yep.
You know, I use colorful language as adjectives now rather than, you know, a swear word.
Right.
It's an adjective, and they'll fly out without me thinking. I have to be very conscious of that now that I'm trying to be on camera and get back to where I was 4 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, well, you knew me 2 years ago, bro. I cuss like a sailor, which I still kind of do now, but I know.
Yeah, but when we're down in the shop and just working on stuff, that's locker room talk.
Yeah, it's locker room talk.
But you know, when we deliberately decide to get behind a camera and give you guys content, you gotta dial that
right.
back.
And we want to, like, we're not giving you the impersonation that, oh, we're here. Like, we are here with you. Like, you can hit us up on Instagram, hit us up on YouTube. You know, we're here. We can, you know.
And part of that is what I would call honing your professional persona.
Absolutely.
You have to have a professional personality. Who you are with your boys in an Xbox lobby, you're sitting around drinking whiskey and smoking cigars, is a completely different person than when that phone rings and a potential business opportunity standing on the other end.
Absolutely.
Who you are when you speak to your grandmother is not the same guy you are when you're talking to your boys. And you need to take that kind of personality with you when you go out into the world and start meeting people. Because it is very unbecoming to be poorly spoken.
And I'll tie this right back into what we saw earlier. That freaking girl from Nepal. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This lady, it's this white lady
It's
from
in a video.
America, goes to Nepal and she gets chased down with this Nepalese woman. What?
I guess that's close.
Nepalese. I'm not trying to, you know, I'm trying to get all my words right. But she's chasing her down this mountain with these two big sticks, just telling her some really rough
Tell
stuff.
her
she was going to herself. Like, it was like, God dang, it was pretty rough.
All because the lady tried to overcharge her for being a Westerner.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady got all butthurt about it. Over 50 cents difference, you know, whatever. You know, you're talking about a lot of money for them and not a lot of money for you.
Yeah.
And this lady was all entitled. Thought she was a big shot.
You could afford to go all the way to Nepal.
But you can't afford 50 extra cents for a cup of tea.
Absolutely. I would have freaking done the same thing.
It almost got her
Get
killed.
out of here!
It almost got her killed.
Well, you know, you got bad customers.
And all the lady could say back to this woman is, "I've said I'm sorry, just leave me alone."
You're scaring my son.
Learn how to talk to people. Learn how to diffuse a situation. There will come a time in your life as a man where a situation can go one of two ways. Physical violence, or you can diffuse it. How good you are at speaking is going to determine how that whole scenario plays out.
Yeah.
Can you talk a situation down?
Yeah.
Without the need for physical violence?
Right. Can you freaking defuse the situation?
Can you present your body language and the words that are coming out of your mouth in a way that says, "I will do this if I have to, but I'm not here to do this with you"?
Those with a sword, but choose to keep it sheathed, shall inherit the earth. Jordan Peterson's, what would that be? It's the same thing as the Bible, the meek will inherit the earth. But a lot of people take that and misinterpret that because meek is like, just kind of like, oh, I don't want any part of that, like that. But JP took it in the example as meek as stoic. Mm-hmm. Like stoic being rock. Don't push me or something's going to break. That kind of thing.
So honing these skills and being well-spoken, putting that into practice, are all very important things for you to be a successful person.
Absolutely.
And you have to work on it. I have to work on that every time we turn this camera on.
And there's so much stuff. There's so much, and this is why I don't understand depression. Because there's so much stuff, so much knowledge, so many things out there that you can learn to better yourself. Moving forward, I think the reason why we think, oh yeah, well, there's nothing here, nothing there, is because we have such easy access to all the information.
We don't even know where to start.
That we almost view it as a totality, and it's like, oh, I already know that, and you just overcompute because you've got TikTok brain and you're overstimulated. That's exactly what I feel like we're struggling with, and I feel like mechanics is a good out to that, and that's why I enjoy doing mechanics and I enjoy making money off mechanics, because I'm learning something physically. Taking time, being patient, learning these really, really, really intricate things. And I can apply that to my life. But you have something to say?
If you want to get out of a hole, the first step's to stop digging.
The first step's to stop digging. And if that means putting down that damn jar of weed, that joint, that bottle, that crack pipe, you gotta put it down.
You gotta start somewhere. You know, you're never gonna get anywhere if you continue to let whatever is dragging you downward, whether that be people or vices or
yourself,
laziness. Yeah, yourself. You have to want to change.
You gotta want it, man. And that's what we're trying to put out here. You've gotta want it. You've gotta make sacrifices. You've gotta be willing to go that extra mile to make that extra freaking golden egg, man. You've got to have that mentality at all times when you wake up in the morning, and you only build that by doing something. You only build that by putting forth effort.
Every single
Whether
day.
that's pushing up, doing push-ups. Do 500 push-ups and tell me how you feel the next day. You're probably going to feel like you did something. That's good. Start there.
You're going to know. Maybe don't start at 500.
Well, yeah. 500's pushing it. 500's pushing it.
But
I was just saying
it comes from doing what you need to be doing to get better every single day, not just on the days you feel good.
And on the days you feel bad, those are the most important.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the most important because that will make or break you in a situation.
Yep.
That'll make or break you. Say you got a freaking $3,000 client on the phone. Oh, you overslept because you had too much to drink last night. Missed out on that golden opportunity for that extra cash. You could have had it. But you drank yourself to sleep and didn't wake up to your alarm. Been there. Won't make that mistake again.
Yep.
Those are the kind of things that we're talking about sacrificing. Being a young guy in this day and age can be very difficult. We get it. We totally get it. And if we can continue to shed some light on these issues that everybody seems to keep having, we're going to keep making these videos. And if this video helped you guys, maybe sparked your day up a little bit, we're still trying to learn how to coincide together. And I know I can be a little bit too much sometimes, but it's no big deal. We enjoy making the videos, and I'm just tickled to have almost 30,000 subs. And I hope more people watch our videos, man.
Yeah, and if you find anything that you take from this video, please let us know in the comments. If there's any sort of situation you would like for us to touch on in the next video, please let us know.
Yeah.
Anything helps. Like we say, we're also still learning how to articulate these issues and get them put out to you guys to be helpful. So if you have anything you would like for us to touch on, again, please let us know in the comment section.
We'll talk about anything. We enjoy it, and we're here for you guys. If you have one of those bad days, add my Instagram. I'll see it. Just, hit me up. You're not alone.
We're here to build that brotherhood for you.
You have purpose. Our main goal here is to, bring masculinity back in a positive light.
Yeah.
That's my main goal.
If this is a place where you guys can find brotherhood, great. Talk to us. Let us know what's going on. If it's something you want us to touch on in a video, great. If it's something you don't want us to say in a video, great. Let us know. We're happy to help you guys in any way we can.
Absolutely. This has been another urgent transmission. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name is Tyler.
And I'm Cody. Thank you guys.
God bless.